Let's start about geometry. What is geometry? It is a branch of mathematics concerned with position, size and shapes of figures. So the word geometry has been derived from the word geometron. Geo means earth and metron means measurement. In earlier days, geometry was used in measurement of lands or canals, etc. But today, we use geometry in our daily life. In the end of this geometry match, you will be able to catch about the basic elements of geometry like point, line segment, ray, etc. Different types of lines, curves, angles and polygons. Last but not the least, circles. Then moving on, let's start with the elements of geometry. The first element is point. So what is a point? A point determines a location of a place. It has neither length, nor breadth, nor thickness. It is always denoted by an uppercase letter or a capital letter like A, B, C, etc. So let's make a real life connect with a point. The real life connect means where in real life we are using point. So it is being used as the tip of a sharpened pencil or a tip of a pen. Now let's talk about line, the second element of geometry. It is a collection of points which can be extended indefinitely on both the sides. It has neither breadth nor thickness. Let's make a real life connect. So the taut string of a kite while flying it is its best example. Now as we know about points already, let's study about a term called collinear points. What does it mean? So when three or more points are in one straight line, they are known as collinear points. Next elements of geometry are ray and line segment. So let's begin about ray, a part of line which has only one endpoint and can be extended indefinitely only in one direction. Like a line, it has no breadth or thickness. So let's study about line segment. What does a line segment say? So it is a part of a line. I repeat myself, it is a part of a line that is bounded by two distant points. It is the shortest distance between the 2 points. So if we make a real life connect of a ray, the best example would be the rays of the sun, while that of a line segment is the shortest distance between 2 places. That is known as line segment. Moving on, as we have already studied about rays, let's study about angle. So two rays, when they meet at a common point, forms an angle. The end point is called vertex, while each of the two rays are called the arm of an angle. Let's make a real life connect again. So the ladder which is aligned along with the wall is a perfect example of an angle, or a windmill which you can see on the screen. Now moving on, let's see about different terms which are related with an angle. Interior or exterior of an angle. Interior means what is inside the angle. So we can definitely see that point X is inside the angle, while points A, Z, B and C are lying on the angle, and point Y is outside the angle, or we can say it is lying in the exterior of an angle. We always name an angle by putting an alphabet of vertex in the middle. So we have studied about different elements of an angle. Now the last but not the least, that is the element of geometry, and it is termed as plane. What does the plane mean? Every solid has a surface which is either flat or curved. It may be smooth or rough. In geometry, we totally agree that either the surfaces are flat or curved. So a plane has length and width but no height. As plane extends indefinitely in all directions, we cannot draw it on a plain paper. So let's make a real life connect of a plane. So the floor of your room is a perfect example of a plane. Now in this table you can clearly see what is the difference between a line segment and a ray. So I have mentioned all the points regarding the difference between line segment, line and ray. Moving on, we will see now and study about the different type of lines. When we were young and studying and started with the concept of learning alphabets, we already knew about vertical and horizontal lines. We will be now moving about parallel lines. We will be talking about these lines. So what are parallel lines? Parallel lines are the lines which never meet even when they extend to infinity. That is why they are known as parallel lines. Let's make a real life connect. The railway line or the crossing of a track means the two lines which do not cross at a track are called parallel lines. Now we will talk about intersecting lines. When two lines meet at a point are called intersecting lines, and the point is called the point of intersection. Let's make a real life connect. So you can see crossroads on the screen, or a multiplication alphabet or an X alphabet. So these are best examples of intersecting lines. Then we have another kind of a line, that is perpendicular lines. So when two lines are in the same plane are said to be perpendicular if they intersect at right angles. So let's make a real life connect. You can see a plus symbol or the roads which are perpendicular to each other. The last but not the least, the last kind of a line which we will be studying about is concurrent lines. So what are concurrent lines? Three or more lines in a plane are said to be concurrent if all of them pass through the same point, and this point is called the point of concurrence. Let's make a real life connect. The spokes in a bicycle wheel is the best example. Now moving on, we will be studying about curves and polygons. So what is a curve? Put the sharp tip of your pencil on a paper and move it aimlessly and just doodle with it. The pictures that emerge are called curves, while a polygon is a closed curve made up of line segments only. Then we will be studying about different types of curves. There are three different types of curves: open curve, closed curve, or a simple closed curve. So open curve, a curve which does not cut itself. As you can see on the screen, the curve is not crossing each other. It is known as an open curve. While a curve which cuts itself, means which come back to its end point from where it starts, is known as a closed curve. While a simple closed curve is a curve when we draw a curve, the lines should not intersect with each other, as you can clearly see with the examples on the screen. Now let's swim deep into polygons and know more about the different type of polygons. But before I begin, let me remind you, polygons are closed curves which are made up of line segments only. So let's begin with a curve which has got three sides. It is known as a triangle, followed by a four-sided polygon, that is quadrilateral, then five-sided pentagon, six-sided hexagon, and seven-sided septagon. While we have other polygons as well, like heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon, which are seven-sided, eight-sided, nine-sided polygons and 10-sided polygons, but we need to know their names and continue swimming deeper into the type of polygons. So then we should already know this, that a polygon starts with minimum three sides. So it is called a triangle. So a polygon which starts with minimum three sides is called a triangle. A triangle has three elements, vertices, sides and angles. Now we will be talking about a four-sided polygon, that is known as quadrilateral. A four-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral, and it has four sides, four angles and four vertices. A line segment joining four corners are called sides, while sides joining opposite sides, means if there are two lines which are joining the two opposite corners, are called the diagonals. And if we talk about the angles, where the two line segment meet at a corner, it forms an angle. Now there are different vocabulary terms which are related with quadrilateral. The first one is adjacent sides and adjacent angles. So two angle or sides are said to be adjacent of the quadrilateral. Adjacent means nearby. So they're said to be adjacent if they have a common endpoint, or if they have a common side in between. So they are known as adjacent sides or adjacent angles. While just reverse of it, that is opposite sides and opposite angles, two sides which are not adjacent means they are lying just opposite to each other are called opposite sides, and same is with angles. Two angles which are lying just opposite to each other are known as opposite angles. Now we are moving on to the last part of our chapter, that is circle. A circle is a simple closed curve, all of whose points are at the same distance from a given point in the same plane. Let's make a real life connect. As you can see, the wheel, the sun, the coin, or a rupee 1 coin or a dial are all examples of circles. Now we will be studying in details about the vocabulary which is related to circle. The first term we can see here is the center. What is the center? A point from which all the other points on the circle are at an equal distance. While what is a radius? A line segment joining the center to the boundary of the circle is called the radius of the circle, and the plural of radius is radii. Moving on, we can see diameter and circumference. A line segment which passes through the center and touches 2 points on the circle are called the diameter of the circle, while the boundary of the circle is called the circumference. Then we have another two terms which are known as chord and segment. So for a chord, it may or may not pass through the center of the circle, but it touches 2 points on its boundary. So if it passes through the center, it is called the diameter or the longest chord. And what does a segment mean? The area covered by the chord of the circle is called the segment of the circle. Last but not the least, the two parts of the circle are arc and sector. A continuous part of a circle is called an arc of a circle. So you can see it's highlighted with red color. Any part of the circle, if we take a part of the circle, it is known as the arc. What does a sector mean? Means an area which is inside 2 radii. The area which is inside 2 radii, including that part of the circle, is known as the sector of the circle. Let's take a quick recap. What we studied in this match and what we have catched. So what we have catched, I hope we all have catched about the basic elements of geometry, that is line, line segment, ray, plane, etc. Then we studied about different type of lines: parallel, perpendicular, concurrent and intersecting lines. Moving on, we dealt with curves and polygons, different type of curves and polygons, and last but not the least, we found what a circle means and what are the different parts of a circle. So in the end, I would like to say you a big thank you